So there's many ways to make a long short portfolio in Portfolio 123, and I want to show you the simplest, the most rudimentary, and probably the first step that I take when trying to do so. So I go to the stock screening function. I'm going to pick first of all my stock universe. In this instance, I want to play with the Russell 2000. I want to make sure my benchmark, I'm going to make that the Russell 2000. You'll see why in a minute. The currency USD, I'm going to put 100 stocks per side. And under method here, this is where you select long short. If I go over to backtest, you'll see that I can select the long weight and the short weight. I want to put 50% short weight. I'm going to make the price the next day's close. Slippage, I'm just going to zero this out for now. Is there any excess return? Carry cost, this is applied if you're going to use leverage. For instance, you could go 150 over 50 and it will apply the 1.5% carry cost to the additional leverage that you're adding and to the short positions. But I'm just going to use 100 over 50 for now. Rebalance every 4 weeks, that's fine. Let's just go back to 2005. Okay, so now we have to pick a ranking system. A ranking system, let's use, like for instance, maybe you want to try out momentum. Does it work to long momentum and to short low momentum? Let's find out. Not really a great system at all. Okay, but now we're going to use sentiment. Sentiment works really well in small and micro caps. Now I just want to mention something here. This method, use ranking system default, this is whenever there's NAs in the data. So you can decide between using negative, which means if you have a small stock and it has a lot of NAs, and negative, it's going to make it a very low ranked stock, which means it will probably be a stock that's shorted. You may or may not want that. You may want to set it to neutral, which means if there's an NA, it's just going to give it a neutral rank. It's going to throw it somewhere in the middle. It's not going to necessarily be a stock that you want to short. Okay, so now we've got sentiment, neutral. Let's run the back test on this. Okay, this is a little bit more something that we would want to trade. But here's another problem. Maybe you're thinking it's very hard to short these small stocks. Hard to borrow, high short costs, it's really risky. Perhaps you don't want to do that. Well, then you can do this. Under method, select hedged. And it's going to make this benchmark, the Russell 2000, your hedging instrument for the short. Just make sure that you go to hedge, you put in either the number 1 or the word true, and then run your back test with the Russell 2000 as the short. Okay, so you did lose a little bit of return, but this is something probably more realistic that you could actually trade. So there's just 1 or 2 things that you should know. Let's go back to settings. Let's go back to long short. Okay, so you can add additional rules into the system. For example, the common rules, this will be applied to both the longs and the shorts. So I might say that I want to take out the lowest market cap stocks. The lowest 25% are off the table on both the long and the short side. Okay, and suppose now though that you only wanted to apply that rule to the short side. You don't care about how small they are on the long side. You go to the word hedge, under short rules. Now this will only be applied to the short side. So this is the first step I take when validating a long short idea. Of course, Portfolio 123 has many other tools to build it out, which we'll cover in future videos.